Lineker stunned by Bruno's rare achievement at United. Gary Lineker has made a huge statement about Bruno Fernandes, and Manchester United fans will absolutely love it. The England legend called Bruno brilliant this season and highlighted something incredibly rare in Premier League football. Despite Manchester United not being in the title race, Bruno still won the Football Writers Association Player of the Year award with an incredible 45% of the vote. Lineker admitted it's quite unusual for a player outside the title-chasing teams to win the award. And honestly, the stats explain everything. Since Michael Carrick moved Bruno back into the number 10 role, the Portuguese captain has exploded into form. 19 Premier League assists, 8 goals, and 11 assists in just 15 league games under Carrick. Lineker summed it up perfectly. Bruno has been brilliant this season. A campaign where the entire football world is finally giving Bruno Fernandes the respect he deserves.
Amorim sold him cheap. Now United want him back for 3x the price. Manchester United are now targeting Mateus Fernandes, but the shocking part of this story involves Ruben Amorim. Many fans don't realize that Amorim was actually the manager who allowed Sporting Lisbon to sell Fernandes for just £15 million back in 2024. At the time, the Portuguese midfielder barely got opportunities, making only 10 senior appearances before being shipped off to Southampton. But everything changed fast. Fernandes exploded in the Premier League, earned a $42 million move to West Ham, and now he's reportedly on Manchester United's radar. Even more interesting, Bruno Fernandes is said to have personally recommended Mateus Fernandes to United. West Ham don't want to sell him, but possible relegation could force them into accepting a deal worth around $45 million. From being overlooked by Amorim, Mateus Fernandes could now become Manchester United's next major signing.
Gary Neville called out by United fans over hypocrite VAR take. Manchester United fans are furious with Gary Neville after Arsenal's win over West Ham. Why? Because Neville appeared to completely change his opinion on goalkeeper fouls. In Arsenal's 1-0 win, West Ham had a late equalizer ruled out after VAR judged Pablo had fouled David Raya from a corner. Neville agreed immediately, saying Raya was clearly being impeded. But here's what upset United fans. Earlier this season, when Altay Bayender was blocked by William Saliba during Arsenal's winner against Manchester United, Neville said the exact opposite. Back then, Neville insisted the goalkeeper has to be stronger. It's not a foul. Now, fans are asking the obvious question. Why does the interpretation suddenly change depending on the team involved? Even Michael Carrick had previously demanded stricter punishment for players obstructing goalkeepers. And for many United fans, the biggest issue isn't just bad decisions, it's the total lack of consistency all season long. Maguire has forced INEOS to change the way INEOS build Manchester United's squad. During United's disappointing 0-0 draw against Sunderland, Maguire stood out as one of the few positives on the pitch. He dominated aerial duels, threw himself into challenges, blocked shots, and completely shut down Brian Broby physically. But the biggest story might actually be what's happening behind the scenes. Since taking over at Manchester United, INEOS have focused heavily on signing younger players under the age of 28, while moving on older stars like Casemiro and Christian Eriksen. But Maguire has become the exception. Despite turning 33, the England defender earned a contract extension, and his performances have only improved since then. His consistency, leadership, and professionalism are reportedly making INEOS rethink their stance on experienced players. And according to reports, Bruno Fernandes could be the next player to benefit from this new approach. From unwanted defender to changing club policy, Harry Maguire's comeback might be his most impressive yet.
Dalot dropped and Man United immediately collapsed? Carrick just discovered a huge problem. Manchester United's 0-0 draw against Sunderland didn't just cost them points, it exposed a brutal truth about this squad. And surprisingly, that truth is Diogo Dalot's importance. With Dalot absent, Nusair Mazraoui came into the starting 11 and struggled badly with Sunderland's physicality and intensity. Meanwhile, Dalot, a player constantly criticized by fans, suddenly looked absolutely vital. Here's the crazy stat. Before Sunderland, Michael Carrick had only lost 2 games since taking charge, and Dalot didn't start either of them. He may not be flashy, he may not grab headlines, but Dalot consistently gives United balance, stability, and reliability on the right flank. And after Sunderland exposed the weakness of United's backup players, Carrick now faces a massive concern. The gap between United's first-team starters and rotation players is enormous. With Champions League football returning next season, that squad depth issue could become a disaster if INEOS don't fix it fast.
Man United made £100 million thanks to one goalkeeper? Onana's replacement is insane. Senne Lammens may have only cost Manchester United £18 million, but he could already be worth more than £100 million to the club. Former United midfielder Owen Hargreaves has made a huge claim. Without Lammens, United probably don't qualify for the Champions League this season. Since arriving from Royal Antwerp on deadline day, the Belgian goalkeeper has transformed United's defense. More reliable than Andre Onana, sharper in big moments, and constantly saving crucial points for the Red Devils. The recent 0-0 draw against Sunderland proved it perfectly. United were poor all game, but Lammens produced massive saves to rescue a point almost single-handedly. And here's the crazy part. Champions League qualification could earn United over £100 million in broadcast, commercial, and matchday revenue. So technically, that $18 million signing may have already paid itself back more than 5 times in one season. Carrick deserves huge credit for United's turnaround, but without Lammens in goal, the story could have been very different.